Fred Film Radio, I'm David Martos. This is the 82nd edition of the Mostra di Venezia, and we're here with László Nemes, director of Orphan.
Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for coming here in competition for the Golden Lion. How about your relationship with Venice? I mean, this is a love story between you and Venice, right?
Yeah, my first short film was here in 2007, something like that, in competition. And my second feature was here, Sunset was here in 2018. So I've been coming here for a long time, and it's a magical place. So I'm glad to be here.
How about this term of competing, of being in competition? Because filmmakers always say, well, we of course we want our film to be seen, but the idea of competing with other colleagues maybe sometimes not very comfortable with.
It was a mostra, right? So they didn't give awards, but it was in the good old days, I guess. So it's tough. It's tough to compete. I think. I learned over the years how to get, some distance from that kind of pressure, not being too much attached to the outcome and just let it go, a little bit, as much as possible, because I think this film should be seen for itself, and it's hard to, compare films, obviously, but, these are the rules, and obviously I'm glad to be here. There's pressure for sure, but I try to leave it outside.
In this film, you want to give us a glimpse of the past. You did it before with your previous films. What's in the past, first of all? What's in the past for you that can teach us lessons or maybe illuminate our path in the present?
Yeah, it's like in a human being, the past does determine many aspects of the present, and some things are also in the unconscious zone. So what do we know? What's on the surface and what's beneath the surface? The same for me is fascinating in history and in collective history. I'm interested in exploring at the level of the individual what it can be like living through very difficult times. Repression, genocide, big historical events. What can the individual save from within? What haunts the individual for years after? And I think in this story, it's something that's at the center of Orphan. How does the past still haunt the present of this kid?
And in this particular case, you take us to 1957 mostly.
Yes.
And this is a very personal story to you, I think. Why did you come up with this Orphan?
It was a haunting force. It was a ghost from the past. I grew up with the story, it's my father's story that I used as a foundation for this movie. A 12-year-old boy who thinks that his father was taken to the camps in the Second World War, and he still waits for the father to return. So he has this ghost father. He fantasizes about his father. But then there's another guy who, shows up at his doorstep, and he's not at all like the father he imagined to be. And this is a story that haunts me still. I also think it says so much about the story of the history of the European continent, the intertwined populations, the terrible fate of the civilian populations, the repression, the massacres, the conflicts. So I think this still haunts us, in a way.
I'm very interested in the verb you are using, haunting. I think it's in the press book of the film that you say, or maybe your team says that war is a haunting force.
Yes.
That is hanging like above us and it's pressing us down.
Yes.
Is it still so, you think, in Europe?
Yes, I think so. It's like, I think it's Tolstoy who said, you might not be interested in war, but war is interested in you. I think even if you ignore history as a force, underneath civilization, it will come back. It's not the end of history. So I'm always interested in recreating that level of vision and level of connecting with someone from the past, because it could be us, and I think we look at the past as if it was just history book, but no, these were our grandparents, our parents, and their stories still are carried over to our generations, and the traumas are carried over to our generations, and I think it's good to look at this.
Yeah, I'm afraid this is all the time we have.
Thanks for having me.
This has been a brief conversation with László Nemes, director of Orphan, here in competition. Thank you very much.
Grazie.
And don't forget, we are in Fred, the Festival Insider.